All right. Waiting for mayhem, I figured I'd do myself a fucking tier list. A starting area tier list. We have Yes Daddy as the top. Okay Daddy as number 2. Daddy is just kind of like, Daddy, it's kind of in the middle. Puff Daddy, it's getting kind of shitty, right? He no longer goes by Puff Daddy. He's now Diddy. Before he was Diddy, he was P Diddy, so it's kind of out of date. It doesn't feel very good. And then you got Snuff Daddy, and that's where Daddy dies. So you don't want to be in the Snuff Daddy territory. You want to be in the Yes Daddy territory. So let us get started. I have the Marauder first. So in the Marauder area, you can start in this top area, but if you do, you're a fucking idiot. So this whole top area is busted. No one does it. It's dumb. Now, if they replace this melee physical damage with just physical damage, it'd be lit. Because you could do a lot of stuff with this if it was physical damage. And it would also be lit because this 5% melee attack speed. What the fuck is the difference between melee attack speed? Oh, I guess it's the ranged. Never mind. So you get a 5% melee attack speed here, where the Duelist only gets a 3% attack speed. So that 5% is actually pretty good if it wasn't for these dog shit notes leading up to it. So no one gets this top area. If it was just this top area, it would be a Snuff Daddy. And no one wants a Snuff Daddy. But here's where it gets juicy. Flat life. Starting area, very nice. To have 20 armor for the start, very nice. Shockingly good. 5% maximum life plus 30 armor. Oh yeah. 4% life, 10% armor. That's 10% armor is not great at the beginning, but it adds up. It adds up. That's pretty nice. 4% life. Actually, I usually go this way because having that 8% regeneration is pretty goddamn nice, because when you're running from area to area while leveling up, you want to refund your life. You want to refill your life without having to pop a bunch of fucking life potions. Super nice. And then right here, 1.8% life regeneration, 20 strength. So good. And here, you have a lot of options. You can pop up to here, maximum life. Pop over here to get your dex and your int. Pop over here to get some elemental resistances. Then pop to here to get some tack. I think I'll go to 15 or 14 or 15 for each. And then from here, you can path wherever you want. If you want to get some quick life regen, this flat 10 is super strong at the beginning, where you can come over here and get some damage with your hands. So one of the categories I like to think about is how much actual non-primary stats you're getting. And you're getting 20 of each, which is pretty good. Not that great, but it's pretty fucking good to get 20 of each and to be able to get it right here. And these are good nodes for the 5 movement speed. Honestly, if it had a better top area to give you a second option, it would be 100% Yes Daddy. But now it's just Okay Daddy. We're going Okay Daddy with the Marauder. Now let's go clockwise. So that would mean we are now going to the Templar. So the Templar has this node, which is a pretty strong node. I like the 14 mana. I like the 14% damage. This node, I don't really like. Mana regeneration is kind of cool, but I'm not a big fan of this. This one's pretty good, but then it goes weird. Life regeneration, mana regeneration, it's kind of okay, but I don't think I've ever pathed this way. I don't really fuck with it, but it's just okay. Energy shield sucks ass at the beginning, so I never path this way. It should be flat energy shield, and it would be pretty good. So these two I've never done. So just like the Marauder, this whole bottom area is dog shit. I do this quite often though, sometimes, because then you can path right into there and up like that. And this node's pretty hot because of the 1% life, and then the double res, and also the double res. So you're getting 20 here as well, but you can get the bonus for an extra 20 int. So that's pretty strong. I mean, 20 dex. That's pretty strong too. So there's that. And then this one, we go up this way. If you're doing a minion build, this is pretty strong. This is pretty fucking strong. And if you're doing a spell that's a spell and a minion, like Absolution, where you hit it with the lightning and then you get the other ones, there's a couple spells that are minions and spells. This is doubling up the damage. But it's not quite as strong as the double damage you get over on this side, with the physical and chaos. So it's not that great at double damage, but it is double damage. And the elemental is just your basic elemental. This is 30 for 3. I usually don't go that route. I typically will go this route. So whenever I play one of these boys, this is almost always the route I go. This route or this route if I'm doing any kind of minion shit. Don't really like it, this little first area, but when you go here and then your path in here, these nodes are all super strong. All of these nodes are strong, and then it makes kind of like a sideways Z, and I like the look of the Z. I'm not gonna lie. So we can pop that, pop that, pop that, and we got 16. So it's pretty close to what it was at the Marauder, but I don't like it as much as the Marauder. The Marauder starting area here, these little front nodes, those are choice. These are not as choice. So Templar is just getting daddy. That's it. Templar's at daddy. He's bald daddy too. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Now let's move on to the Witch. Energy shield, flat energy shield's pretty good. Spell damage is extremely rare, also pretty good. So if you go through this spell damage nodes, despite they're only 10%, that's actually 40 spell damage, and it's 42 spell damage, and it's actually pretty hard to get the spell damage on the tree. So right here is like basically almost all the spell damage you can get. Really, you can get here, and I think there's a little over here. Spell damage is hard to come by, so that's pretty okay daddy right there. Cast speed in certain builds is also kind of strong and also a little bit rare. So those two are kind of nice. The double flat energy shield is pretty strong. 14 energy shield, 16 energy shield. But then when you go into here, these should be 5%. 10 and 5 instead of, 10 and 4. I think it should be 5%. So I usually don't go that way. And when you stack int, you usually get more ES anyway, so going this way and then popping up to that to stack the int is usually a better option than getting these here. And then this minion, I don't fuck with these minions ever. I don't play minions, so that's why I don't fuck with them. I don't really have an opinion. I can't have an educated opinion on how good those are in terms of minions. I don't do minions, so that's not my thing. But from here, the Witch's pathing is pretty fucking weird. You go in here, this mono life is cool, but this area of effect is kind of dog shit. Am I right? Then this minions is kind of dog shit. I mean, if you're doing minions, you can go that route, so it's kind of dog shit. So you almost never use, at least I almost never use this entire middle area. Typically, I'll cut immediately to the right like that, or I'll cut up and over. Or if I'm going the other way, I'll cut like this. I almost always get this one, though, because this one's pretty hot. Now, you can go into here and get strength and dex. Used to be much better, because right here used to also be strength and dex, and they cut that out for some reason. And I think this also used to be much higher than 2020, but they lowered it, and they added 10 elemental resistance, which is pretty cool. The 20% avoid stuns while casting, that's dog shit. No one gives a fuck about that. You don't get hit anyways, just dodge everything. And I'm pretty sure these nodes here are kind of strong. So if you're doing a lightning build, this is actually a really strong start. Then you can pop here and here for lightning. And then obviously if you're not doing lightning, it's significantly less strong. Because there's no real like close fire. Your closest fire I think is actually right up here. And there's no close ice. Your closest ice is over here. So you're not really getting anywhere productive very quickly. It can be strong if you want like really strong elemental resistances, but even then, the jugs area, you just get this flat 15 and 5 is 20 fucking all res. And these it's not as good. You got some crit, but crit blows ass for the beginning. So the Witch, for me, this is a snuff daddy. They're dead. Nope. Fuck that. It's too old. It's snuffed out. Snuff daddy for sure. Don't like the witching start area. It's not witching hour. It's not double witching day. It's not triple witching day. Only the finance bros know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then we're going shadow. Shadow, quite strong. Poison, this is like the strongest shit ever. you're fucking just killing it. 28% more damage if you're doing a physical poison. 24% increase, not more. And then 20, 20, 20. Pop it into there. You get the dex, you get the int, you get the attack and cast speed. Beautiful node. Pop in here, 20 strength, 10% life. Very strong. Pop in here, 20% increased damage. I don't care about the crit at the beginning. 10 dex, 10 int. Glorious. Fucking glorious. This right here, strong start. You're doing damage over time. Bam. You're doing a one-hander. Bam. You're doing physical. Bam. If you're doing, I mean, this right here is such a strong fucking start. It's ridiculous. But then you have this node. This node. Fuck this node. What the fuck? I hate it. I hate it so much. It gets so awkward after this moment. Like, let's say you want to get this dagger node and this physical node. Look how fucking, what am I making a fucking T-pose here? It gets so fucking weird once you hit this point. And I hate it. But this node's pretty strong, which is probably why they put this dog shit node here. It's okay at the start. But after like level 30, it's useless. But this is a pretty strong node. 5% life, 10% energy shield, 8% spell suppress. So that's likely why they have this dog shit dead node. But then when you get this dog shit dead node, then you also got to path out one more. It'd be pretty lit if you could path directly to here and not to do two. But no, you got to fucking path like that to go this way. And it's just, it irks me. It fucking irks me. But this is hot. This is a hot little cluster. Now, attack speed, cast speed, you're never really going to do that. But it is kind of weird. 4% increased attack speed, but the Duelist only has 3. Why the fuck would they give this guy 4 attack and cast speed, but the Duelist only gets 3? That's fucking weird. And even the starting one's only 6. Like, 6 attack speed versus 28 chaos, or 14 chaos, 14 life, 12 life. I don't know. Seems like the Duelist is going to kind of get shafted by these 2-3% attack nodes. I keep going to the Duelist because I play a lot of Duelist. That's super hot. I've never gone through the cast nodes. I'd give that like just a regular daddy. But this Chaos Physical, that's a pure yes daddy. Elemental, it's the 310s again, plus the 12. I mean, it's pretty basic. Standard daddy. Evasion, energy shield, sucks ass at the start, standard daddy. But this right here is also a pretty strong node, getting the 14% damage and then the flat energy shield, and then up here in the imp. So then you can path down here and you're getting your 20 strength. You're also getting your 10 dex, and if you need more dex, you pop there and you're getting that. If you're doing elemental, that's actually a pretty strong node. Crit, that's a pretty strong node. This works and is strong the entire game. That's pretty slick. You can avoid all that and then go here to get 12% more damage with some mana regeneration and more int. That's pretty slick. Again, the awkward section right here. Super awkward. Don't like. I find this to be a pretty useful node at the beginning when you're walking through, but also not that great. Damage over time nodes. These life and damage over time, if you're doing any kind of damage over time, super strong to get that regeneration early on. And then right here, you can get some spell suppress. You got your wombo combo there. Of course, I'm at 20 right here, so I'd have to pop down to something like that if I want to do a full wombo combo. But you can go here, here, or here like that, and do 17. Pop that off, and you're at, I try to pop it off like 5 fucking times. Right here, 15. This is a pretty strong 15 start for spellcasters. Or you can fuck all that noise, and you can go bam. And avoid a bunch of bullshit. Get some reses, some chaos reses, or you can just fucking corrupted blood, but I don't know how much corrupted blood's early on. This is also a pretty strong start, or you can fuck that and go bam. You can even go bam. Bam. 17 nodes, but you know, it's close to the standard. If you want to do a cool life and ES build, that's pretty solid. And then up into here, it's okay if you're kind of doing like a ghost dance kind of shit. I've also done this a couple times to path into there. if I want the stats, but that's rare. That's kind of shit. It's a little awkward. But if it wasn't for this node, and then these ES invasion, they're strong later on, but early on they're not that strong. It'd be a pure daddy. But as it is, Shadow is just an okay daddy. Just an okay daddy. It's not yes daddy. Now we go to the fucking projectile cunt. And the Ranger. Projectile damage, kind of average. Kind of don't like it. Attack speed is still 4, much better than the Duelist for some reason. Kind of don't like it. Just pure evasion, dog shit. Attack damage, accuracy, attack speed, attack dog shit. So you got kind of like average, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. So your only options are there and there. Never path anywhere else. Fuck that noise. You got 2 options. This attack speed's pretty good. 8% attack speed. I think it's about the same as it is here. Nope, 10% attack speed. So you're getting the accuracy in the dex. You'd have to get here to get some strength and int. This is dog shit. I hate all of it. This is the worst starting area. The best thing to do when you play a fucking ranger is to get the fuck out of this starting area as quick as possible. And you got this stupid, why is it so fucking wide with that U? None of the other ones have this stupid wide bend. Why are you bent so fucking much? You ain't bent that much. Why are you bent that way? It's not bent that way over here. It's just this one little area. It's like when they were designing it, someone fucked up and went whoop, whoop. Should kind of just be a little more sleek. Kind of a little more sleek here. Not this big old fucking bendy. Yeah, I'm not even going to go through anymore. I mean, this node's pretty cool. These nodes are pretty cool. But this is a snuff. You get snuff daddied. You are dog shit. In fact, you are so bad, I'm moving the witch up to Puff Daddy. Yeah, that's right. You're so snuffy. You're so shitty. I'm going to make a fucking 9mm video out of you. Now, let us move on. What do we got? That Duelist. Duelist. Dog shit. Radical. These two are pretty radical. I like the 8% evasion and armor and the 4% life. But when I play a Duelist, I always either go that way or that way. Makes it kind of simple. But after you do that, this node, glorious. Ignore movement penalties for armor, 20 dex, very good. Also, 8%, 24, very good. Getting that 1% life regeneration, very good. Then you get your choice. Projectile, hot. Dual wield, hot. Shield, hot. Two-handed, hot. Those are all very good. Using a bow, pop it like that, bam, bam, if you're doing damage over time. That is a solid 15 starter. Using a mace, pop it like that. Going two-hander, you can pop it like this, get that life, pop over here, get this crit, get that socket, slick. Or you can just go bam, 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 biggity bam, or go on to the other side. Strong, pretty strong start. I mean, I wouldn't start with the crit, but you could. But because these basically have no good value, 3% attack speed, really? I mean, that just feels like they're doing them dirty, doesn't it? I mean, this one's getting 4 here. This one's getting 4 across the board, and then a fucking 10 right there. Why is the Duelist got dirty? Why are you getting them so dirty? With these 2 3s. Like, what the fuck? That's just rude. Duelist, because of the strong section down here and the relatively quick pathing out, you can just get the fuck out of the Duelist area a lot quicker than you can with this one. And this one. You're just out of the Duelist area super quick. This one gets a daddy. Now, onto the Scion. Awkward, across the board on a start. This one's kind of cool for the regeneration. This one's kind of cool for doing physical damage because it's increased physical damage instead of physical melee. So if you're doing Exsanguinate or Reap, this is actually a really strong starting point because you get a lot of fizz. Then you can pop there, and then that's too many nodes for what everyone else has. But you're a Scion. You get the extra nodes later, so we'll count it. It's kind of cool to start with the reses here, because then you can pop all these fucking res, and then you're super strong with the resistances, and then the evasion. I don't know if anyone would ever take this to get the fucking early spell suppression, but you could go this way, pop into that, and pop down here, and you can kind of pop into everywhere. But it's a little awkward. I don't think I've ever ran up this way. I've done the block before, these block nodes, just to get some free block. I've done that before, but I don't know if I've ever popped that way. It's kind of cool because you can get, again, the only other one to get shafted on the 3% attack speed, but you can pop it like that. And then you can pop over to here, and you can even get this to get charges while you're leveling if you really wanted to. This is kind of cool. This is kind of a cool start. Of course, with the other ranger, you can start there and get here pretty quick. Also pretty quick with the shadow because these are really strong. And it's a bonus for the Templar over here, but it takes a while to get here with the Templar. So this one, I'm putting the Scion at just Puff Daddy. So none of these motherfuckers are a Yes Daddy, because they all have something wrong with it. This one right here, they need to change this from melee physical to just physical. Pop that change, swing that bad boy up to Yes Daddy. Over here, maybe make these hybrid nodes. It makes sense with the evasion. Thematically, it makes sense with the evasion. I think it would be cool if it was like, no, because you might want to do a pure energy shield. I don't know what they could really do here, aside from remove this. This node here is the only thing that's keeping it out of Yes Daddy, this gain 5 life, and the awkwardness to kind of branch out. But it is super thick, especially like comparison to, I guess that's kind of thick too, but there's a lot of these weird exerts and cries that you're never really going to select. It's not quite as thick, but here you got a lot of thick shit that's it's just good shit to grab. Good shit to grab all up in here. If it wasn't for this awkward little area here, it would be Yes Daddy. And that is the starting area skill tree. I wasted your time because that was really dumb. Probably won't even post it. I'm just fucking with you. You're hearing it right now. You know I posted it. And yeah, I made this in Excel because I'm a boomer. I don't use anything other than Excel. Boomers love Excel.